Good afternoon. In this video, we're going to go over this past week's trades and the weekly recap. Before I get into the recap, I did finish the week with, 19 wins and 4 losses for an 82.61% win rate for the week, which is very good. Short weeks have usually been not that great for me in the past, but this past week was pretty good, even though I did make a couple mistakes I think that I probably could have avoided, but we'll get to that when we get to it. But I did exceed my 80% goal for the week. That's what I set for every week, and I did exceed it. Trying to finish the month of December strong to get my numbers higher than last year. And I checked, I think, a couple days ago that my numbers are better this year than they were last year. So I just want to make sure I don't have a bad week, but try to finish out the year really, really strong, get those numbers up, and get ready for 2022. So please like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and if you're not in the room, you can find the link in the description of the video and in the bio section of my social media accounts. You don't want to miss the last week of 2021. It could be a very volatile week. A lot of people could take their losses for tax purposes. It could be a decent week. So definitely could be a good last week. But anyways, also you can go on my Twitter account and you can see the timestamps of the calls. If you're unfamiliar with the room, every morning pre-market I put up 2 or 3 trades that I really like. That way you guys have a chance to get in and get a good entry. Just make your own decision if you want to take it or not. Like I said, this is not financial advice, never is. It's my 2 cents. It's what I'm playing. If you take it, it's up to you. So yeah, I think I really like the Trade Ideas channel, and I try to post in advance any plays that I see, but sometimes I just can't do it because I know that, when you post an alert, no matter who it's from, you're always chasing after the fact. So I want to try to post the play before it happens, so that way you guys can get in before me at the same time and not chasing. Because sometimes when levels and stocks take off or drop at certain levels that I call out, they move very quickly, especially like SPX. SPY drops like 10 cents, and SPX will pop like, I don't know, 50 cents to $1 just on a small move, especially on expiration days. So that's why it's crucial to pay attention to Trade Ideas room try to get in before the alert comes out, and you can make your own decision and stuff like that. So with that out of the way, we'll just get into Monday. Well, remember, this was a 4-day week this past week because of Christmas. First day was Monday, 20th, which was right here. Now I had, I started out with, I had 5 wins for the day, no losses, but it was very choppy. And this is the one thing I really hate. This is Friday and this is Monday. You get this, where to drop from 460 to, and it's open at 454. I mean, he had a $6 drop, and I really hate these massive gap downs and gap ups, because look, you get a $6 drop overnight with futures, and yet during the day it stays in it stayed in it wasn't a $5 range, so $4 range. But anyways, actually no, $3 range. 454, 455, yeah, $4 range. So I mean, that's still a pretty good range, but it just doesn't look anything like this, and I don't really like that. And especially when you're dropping that much, the last thing I like is that when it has a massive gap down, chasing the gap down, because usually a lot of the time when you have these massive gap downs, it ends up being like a short trap where they get everybody piling in puts ready to open, then it just pops on you. And you got to be aware of stuff like that, because it does happen, and it is what it is. But let's see what I said in the Trade Ideas room on Monday. Yeah, I said on the 20th, and I was actually looking at it just like that. SPY calls over 456 and Microsoft puts under 318. Now I didn't take Microsoft, but I said what, 456, which is right here, pre-market high. Um, no, I mean I could have actually said 455.60, but I like to round up. I mean, 456 is a good area. I mean, it's also where it's been rejecting right here. If it gets over that, it's going to end up taking off, but it didn't. It popped a little bit, then it started to drop, and right when it tried to pop and it failed and broke below this level right here, 450. We'll say 454 because you see this is at that 10-minute candle. I'll blow it up a little more and get all this. There we go. Because this was what area I was looking at, the break right in here, but it didn't. So it opened, it started to pop, and it failed to break over this 455 area and just came back down. And when it broke below this 454 area, that's where I switched my thesis really quick, and I got the 452 puts at $1.46, and they went to $1.99. So that was a nice little play. Then I ended up grabbing SPY calls at 1134, which is right here. No, right here. Now, the thing that I've been watching for, there was a divergence going on. As you can see, it's making lower lows, and right, the histogram is making higher. So I like to see that. And usually, anytime the SPY likes to put in a bottom, what they do is they like to try to make it look like it's going to reverse, because so many people buy the dip, so many people depend on this. They've gotten way too dependent on these V rallies, and they've been tricking and trapping these people. Well, they'll make it look like it's going to V rally, it's going to pop, then they just drop it a little more just to kill people's confidence and take out stops. Then they end up ripping it. So I've been trying to wait for for that to happen, because it's been happening the last couple of weeks. So it started to pop a little bit. I didn't grab it. I was looking at it. Then I had this next knee-jerk reaction right here, and this is where I ended up grabbing it. So I grabbed the 450 calls at $1.30, and the $1.30 calls went from, I mean, the 452 calls went from $1.30 to $2.18. So that was a nice little play. Then I ended up grabbing calls again at 1242, which I believe is right here. Yeah, right in here. No, right here on this candle, right in here. Now I went up the VWAP, pull back down, and it's retesting the area it broke out of right here. And that's where I grabbed it again. I grabbed the 452 calls again for the $1.34 this time, and they went to 266. So nice little play on that one again. And then I ended up playing SPX puts at 232, which should be right about here. Now I was getting it right here. As you can see, it started to like reject close to all-time high, sorry, high of day. Didn't quite get there. It was off a little bit, but it put in this little candle right here. Then it had this harsh rejection right there down towards VWAP, and this is where I grabbed it right in here. I grabbed it in this candle, grabbed the SPX 4530 puts at $2.50, and that little drop that went to 310. I got 60 cents. If you stick with the SPX 50-cent move like I like to try to do, then you'll end up doing really well. But if you sit there and hold for big runs where you're expecting to make a $5 run, you're gonna end up losing more than winning, because you're getting greedy and trying to get these massive moves, and you're just not gonna get it. You don't know which move is gonna be the massive move, and especially when you hear bad news. You think the market's going to just get slammed and it doesn't do anything, or you hear other news, even in a positive way, where the market reacts. You think the market's going to react and it doesn't. The market doesn't care what you think or what the news. It's going to do what it wants when it wants. It's very bipolar about its movements and what it decides to choose as a strong move. And I always look at it from the point of view that when the market or VIX gets to certain levels, especially VIX, when VIX gets to a certain level, like really low, like at 15, I always make the comment that the market's going to dump, they're going to pick the narrative. And, because the market always has bad news and it shrugs it off, and all of a sudden VIX gets really low. and the market ends up reacting and dumping on something very, very trivial and dumb, and they say, oh, the market dumped because of this, dumped 2 days later because of this. They always pick the narrative as to why the market does what it does, and it doesn't really matter in my opinion. So then I ended up taking the last trade of the day was SPX 45.75 calls at 318, which is rate 318. I think it's right here. 318. Dropped the VWAP, came back up, and I was expecting it to break out. Dropped a little bit, then it did pop right here. So the 45.75 calls, I got at $2.50 again, and they went to 370. And a lot of the times you have to, the market has been waiting for the last 10 to 20 minutes by making the last move, and usually it's like the end of the day moves. It can happen at 2 o'clock, 2:30, 3 o'clock, 3:30. But lately, the last couple weeks, it's literally been happening the last 10 minutes. The last 10-minute candle of almost every day. Right here is the, well, see right here, it started a little early. Right here, you can see it was like the last 20 minutes. Right here, the last 10-minute. Usually these are 10-minute candles. Last 20 minutes. So yeah, the last 10-minute candle. So yeah, I could keep show you and show you and show you. You know, this is like the last. This is just a move from the last hour, power hour. So right here, the last 10 minutes. I mean, I could keep going on and showing you a little bit of a pop right here. The last 10 minutes, not much, nothing extreme. Last 10 minutes. I mean, almost every day like clockwork. Nothing here. They pinned it there. Last 10 minutes. I mean, I think you catch the idea of with SPY and its last 10-minute pop or drop. So you just got to figure out, is it going to pop or drop? And that's the money question right there, because sometimes it looks like right here you think it would pop. This is obviously Friday and Thursday, and it's got slammed. So, but anyways, then on to Tuesday. Let's see, what did I trade on Tuesday? I've been averaging down on some of my plays, and I don't ever do that, and I've been doing it lately. I'm kind of making a bad habit, and right now it's been working for me, and so I'm gonna get burned on it one of these days, and I gotta stop doing that. But on non-expiration days, I think it's a little safer to go to average down a little bit. No, I'm not recommending it. I'm not saying you should. I still stick to I'm firm with averaging down is stupid, and to wait for a better opportunity and entry, and then get a closer strike. But on non-expiration days, if you're right at the money or very close to it, then it might be worth doing it on non-expiration days. But expiration days, never. I won't do it on expiration days. I think I might have last week, but that was stupid. But anyways, regardless of that, had Microsoft calls on the 21st, which is right here. Had it right out of the gate. I said in the trade ideas room, Microsoft calls over 324, Snap calls over 45.50, and SPY calls over 460. Right here, 324. I grabbed it a little early. As soon as it dropped a little bit and came back up and broke pre-market highs right here. The one thing I like to see is it drop. If it drops on the first candle and comes back up and gets over pre-market high, I'll grab it right at pre-market high instead of at the 324. So gotta make a mental note that I do that because of that. And the reason I picked 324 is because of this area right here on, what day is this? Is this, yeah, Friday. So, but yeah, I got the 327.50 calls at $1.50, and they went from $1.50 to $2.50. Actually, if he held all the way through this move, this was a ridiculous move. I was not expecting a massive J hook like this, and it really caught me off guard. I mean, I only played the first 10-minute candle. I think somebody said that they ended up holding it through the drop and it through the pop. And I was just like, okay. I don't like, one thing I don't like is that if you're in a trade and you're green and you're taking it off in the strength, which you should be, using active trader on toss and just selling on the ask into strength, and when you have a good position that you're selling green, and you don't want to let the green positive position go red on you. So that's why I'm like, okay, I'm not going to let this thing go red on me. I don't care if it drops a little bit then rages. I'm not going to sit there and hope. um, not, that's me. I prefer not to do that. Some people just like to hold and hope, and I don't think that's a good idea. But then I ended up playing puts all day on the 21st, and I shouldn't have. I should have been playing calls. But the thing is, you get this massive gap up right here, 455, and it gapped up to 489. So you get a $4 gap up. Not too extreme, but I just didn't like it. Just didn't trust it. And then I ended up grabbing puts at let's see, 946. And this massive candle right here, I'll blow this up a little more. Make sure that my mic is actually working. Okay. I grabbed it right in here. I actually grabbed it right, I think, down in here. I really chased it because I said on the alert, I grabbed the 456 puts at $1.98 at 946, which was this candle right here. I grabbed it close to the 200 EMA, and I put chasing. Letting people know that I am chasing the move, and it could reverse, and it's very risky, very dangerous, and if you take it, just be aware of that. And I did, and I went from 198 to 235. Not much of a move. I mean, technically it was 37 cents, but if you can get 30 cents plus on SPY, because SPY option doesn't move nearly as much, is pretty good. So, but 30 cents on SPY is like $3 on SPX. So you can see how much of a move that would have been on SPX if we played it. But on a non-expiration day, you don't touch SPX because you're going to pay like $15 per contract, and that's just ridiculous and not worth it. Then I ended up playing, let's see, SPX puts again at 1020, which I believe is right here in this candle. It came up to the 20 EMA and rejected it. I grabbed it right here. The 456 puts at $2.06. And let's see. And they went from $2.06 to $2.59, and that drop right there. So that was a nice little play. Drop here. VWAP, 20 EMA drop, so that worked out really well. Then I ended up grabbing puts again at 1240, which I believe is right in here. Now, 1240. Yeah, right here. Okay, this is the one I averaged down on. Okay, this is what I ended up doing. Now, first of all, I should have grabbed calls right in here because I didn't, but I grabbed it. I got that play, and I got that play. And I should have grabbed calls when it came up over VWAP and came back and retested it. I should have bought this breakout right here because it was a good setup, because it went through VWAP, came back down, retested VWAP, and right when it broke over this area right here, the 458.60 area, is where I should have grabbed calls. But sometimes I just got my blinders on. I'm thinking, okay, this thing's not going to rage. And I keep saying in the room, and I need to burn it in my mind, that you can never underestimate SPY's just ridiculousness on its strength. I mean, whenever you think SPY can't go anymore, it's going to stick to a range, or it's not going to do anything ridiculous, it can just do some ridiculous things. And yeah, so what day was that? That was the 21st. Just trying to look at only hourly. Yeah, see, what I was doing was I was looking at, so I got it at 1240. I was looking at this area right here, this 462, right in here. Because you can see it was support, resistance right in here. It was having a hard time in this area, so I grabbed it early. I grabbed it right here which is right there. And I got it wrong, and it popped, and I ended up averaging down at 238. Where was it? 238. 238. Right. 238. I averaged down at 238. It was right in here. I averaged down. Yeah, because I got them at $1.63. And I added more at $1.15 with my new average of 129, and I was able to sell them at $1.35, I think, in this drop right here. So yeah, but I was looking at this on the hourly and thinking, okay, it's going to reject in this area. I grabbed it right in here, and then you get the 20 EMA, right, this purple line right here on the hourly, and I was like, okay, this thing is going to reject, and that's why I grabbed it. It started to a little bit, then it popped through, then it finally dumped end of the day. I'm glad I sold it when it turned green, because you get this nasty candle right here that reversed very, very quickly. But I shouldn't have averaged down, but I did. A couple things I shouldn't have done on SPY on Tuesday, but it is what it is. I'm not perfect. I'm always going to make mistakes. So that did turn green. I got out as soon as it turned green, but I should have grabbed calls right in here, but whatever. It is what it is. So now on Wednesday, let's see. I did not do very well on Wednesday. Let's see. The first one I had Microsoft puts. Let's see. What do they say in the trade ideas room? Let's see. Trade ideas room on the 22nd. I said SPY calls of a 463.50 and snap calls of a 46.20. Then I actually did mention. Let's see what the timestamp is on this. 9:32. I said Microsoft puts under 326. And it got right there, but I grabbed it early because it popped a little bit and it came back down. And as soon as it got in this area right here, I grabbed it. I grabbed the 325 puts at $1.41, and they went to $1.69 right there. So that was a nice little play. You had to be really, really quick, and it quickly reversed. And I was very surprised that Microsoft reversed. I probably should have played the calls when it did that, but I didn't. I think this is one of those ones that I had my blinders on again on SPY. So see, I had SPY calls was the next play. And the alerts are blended together. I hate that, but they were really close though. 9:38. Okay, 9:38. 9:38. Right in here, I grabbed it. Now, kind of opened up kind of flat. Very slightly down a little bit. Then it came back up, and I was looking at this 463.50, which was right here, pre-market high, because at that point in time it's down here, and I was thinking, okay, if it gets to pre-market high, that's where I'm going to grab it. So I did grab it right in this candle. It chopped a little bit, then took off. The SPY calls did go from, I got the 464 calls, of course, at 91 cents, and they went from 91 cents to 285 if he held all the way through for 200% move. So that was a nice play, and I just kept trying to guess the top, and that was very, very not a great idea this week. So 10:08, right here, I tried to grab it, thinking that because it wasn't going to break out, it was just chopping, and I grabbed the SPY 463 puts right here, and because when you get it's wicking on both sides, so I figured, okay, it breaks this area. It's struggling with the 464 area, and I was thinking, okay, if it does break, if it does break out, that not break out, break down, that it just looks very toppy. I don't like it when it wicking like that, and I thought it was gonna dump, and it didn't. So that was loss number one. So yeah. No, was that the first loss for the week? I don't remember. Let me just double check. I don't think it was. Yeah, no, yeah, that was the first loss of the week. Yeah. For some reason, I thought I had a loss before that. So yeah, then I ended up taking SPX puts at 1106, which is right here. I grabbed it. Now, I had the XPX 46.55 puts at $2.50. And they ended up just chopping. It got chopped to death. Just being expiration day, it just got chopped. Even if it did drop and you were at the money, I think it wouldn't have turned green. Even though it went in your direction, this chop killed it. But I stopped out because I got them at $2.50. I stopped out at $1.50. So whatever. Then I took them again because I really thought we were getting a rounded top right here. And we kind of, this is what I was talking about. I likes to do this on the pops too. It likes to think it's going to make a rounded top and make it look weak. Then it does a little exaggerated move to take out stops and get people bullish and trick and trap people. Then it drops right here. So I should have seen that, but I did end up getting this. Let's see, getting ahead of myself here. Yeah, then I had SPX 46.65 puts again, this time at, let's see, 1148, which was, yeah, right here. So the first time was 1106, right here. And I stopped out, and I grabbed it again at 1148 right here. And it chopped and took a loss on that, and it did dump here, and I think it came close to breaking even, but I thought we were going to have a massive drop because of the week, because at this point in time it was rejecting this let's see, yeah, it was rejecting this area right here, the 466.50 area. So you can see you got a little bit of support right here and resistance right here as a pivot. And I just got in a little too early. Yeah, I got in right there. And this is where, yeah. Anyway, so then I ended up so I had 3 losses in that one day. And I was just like, oh, that was so annoying right before Christmas. I did not want that to happen. I wanted to actually finish the week strong. And like I said at the beginning of the video, I struggle for some reason on short weeks, and I was just like, okay, I was gonna call it a day. Then I ended up grabbing play at the end of the day. I grabbed the SPX 46.90 calls at $1.35. I got it 3.30 right here at the breakout, right here. I got it in this candle right there. Came back up. Tested the high of day, going into the last 10 minutes of the day, 20 minutes of the day. I was thinking, okay, they like to push it, especially on a short week, and they like to push it when it's at high of day at the end of the day. And this is Christmas week. They're going to make everything look positive for Christmas and go finish the market strong going into Christmas weekend, so everything looks great, and that's what they ended up doing. They ended up pushing it, so that went from $1.35 to $7.70. So that was a nice 400% win on that. So for some reason TOS just logged me out, but anyways, so yeah, that was a 400% win on the SPX. And on Friday, let's see, I played a lot of plays on Friday. I got 7 wins and 1 loss, and say I started out the day with Facebook spy calls right at open. I said Facebook calls over 333 and SPY calls over 469.50. That was was in the trade ideas room pre-market on did I say Friday, Thursday. So I did grab it right there. They went from the 469 calls. I got at $1.10, went from $1.10 to 260 in that pop right there. So that was a nice little play right at the open. Then I ended up grabbing Facebook. Facebook did break the level. Well, Facebook dropped and came right back up, and I grabbed it right away. It dropped down to pre-market lows, and when it came and broke over pre-market highs, that's when I ended up grabbing it. I got the 332.50 calls at $1.70, and they went from $1.70 to $2.45, and that little push right there, and it dropped, and then just had another massive push. It was just kind of ridiculous. So then I ended up taking Tesla. Tesla had a couple good moves. I had Tesla, let's see. Yeah, I said at, let's see, 9:49, Tesla calls of a 10:20. 9:49, which is right here. And people had at least a 20-minute notice about this move right here. And I got the 10:35 calls at $3.50. And Tesla just took off, and it went from $3.50 to $37.76. So that was 1,000% move right there on Tesla at the on that little play right there. So that was a good move. I would like to play Tesla more, but their options are so expensive, and I don't want to play $150 out of the money. I just don't want to do that. So I will look at it on expiration days to see how it's priced and see how it is and stuff like that, and I will play it then. Then I ended up grabbing Tesla puts at 11:10, which is right here. You had this exaggerated move, and let's see. You had this exaggerated move right here. Then it started to wick, and that's when I ended up grabbing the Tesla 1030. The 1030 puts at $3.40, and they did move a little bit. So they did go from 340 to 380 in that little play right there. So that was a nice little play, but you had to be quick in and out because it ripped more. Then I ended up grabbing Facebook puts at 11:45. Okay, Facebook I did grab a couple of times. 11:45. Right here, I grabbed it in this candle. Right here, right there, I grabbed it. Yeah, I grabbed it in this candle right here. Pop back up. That's where I ended up grabbing because I saw it dropping, and I didn't want to chase it. So when it made this little wick right here, and it came back up, this is where I ended up grabbing it before it actually dropped. So I did grab the 435 puts at $1.21, and they went from $1.21 to 183 in that little put drop right there because it was actually, I got it right in the money when it dropped. I do like playing those in the money on expiration days if they're not too expensive. Then I ended up grabbing Facebook puts again, the same ones, and it popped back up. I grabbed them again at 12:07, which is right here. As you can see, I got this move, and it had a quick pop up to close to higher day. I grabbed it again, and I got them at 86 cents this time, and they went from 86 cents to $1.77. So they catch that move right there. Then when it came back up and tested it the third time, I wasn't interested because usually the more times it's tested, the more likely it's going to break. I was looking at the double top right there, and it would reject, and it did. Then when it came back up here for the third time, I was like, no, it's going to pop, and it did. So I thought about, grabbing it in here, but I didn't. But yeah, so then I ended up playing Roku next. Let's see, I played Roku at 12:51. Right here. I grabbed it right in this candle. Had this exaggerated move. Then I was looking at the this area right here on Wednesday, and it was started to reject that. And I thought it was going to give back a little bit, and it did play. The play was pretty good because I got them at the 232.50 puts at $1.40, and they went from $1.40 to 174. I mean, not much of a great move, but I was expecting a dump like this over here, but then it finally did dump. But yeah. I mean, I could look at something though. What time did I get out on Roku? A 3:03, which is, yeah, this is 3:03. I got out in this move right in here. 303. Right here. Yeah, I got out of this move right here. This is where I ended up getting out. I didn't think I got out there. I did take some a little off right there, then it chopped, and I actually got out right in here. So, yeah, they did go from 140 to 174 in that little drop. Then I had SPX calls at the end of the day. Now, this is where I got them. This was the last play of the day. My only loss for Friday. So I wasn't too worried about taking a loss end of the day. I was expecting them to push it. I grabbed the 315. I grabbed it too early. I grabbed it right here, I think. 350, yeah. Dropped down to the 20 EMA, started to pop back up. I thought for sure it was going to rage, and it just flushed and it popped back up. It didn't turn green. Then it just dumped at the end of the day. So got it way too early, mistimed it. But had 7 wins and 1 loss on Friday. Most people can't even get that in a week. Most people can't even get 50% of their plays right. So to be fortunate enough to be 80% right every week and only be down 1 play for Friday and Thursday, so I'm quite satisfied with that because we had a very good day on Thursday. So that's gonna do it for the recap. I hope this has helped and understand the mentality and why I took the trades I did and why and where and stuff like that. So hope to see you in the room. Thanks for watching.